Do you love animals? I love reading about so many different animals. This book is called Bees, Snails, and Peacock Tales. Patterns and Shapes Naturally by Betsy Franco and Steve Jenkins. In the day and the night, on the land and in flight, tucked in hollows of trees, in the tide pools and the seas, you'll find patterns and shapes from the snakes to the bees. Study a beehive and you will see the mathematical genius of a bee. The hexagons you'll find inside fit side by side by side. This math is passed mysteriously from worker bee to worker bee. A hexagon is a shape with 6 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Moths show their symmetry every spring, flitting at night on fragile wings. Notice the colors and stunning eyes perfectly matched on either side. Attracted to windows or candlelight, moths are kaleidoscope shapes in flight. This moth has these big eye spots. Those aren't his eyes. His eyes are really tiny up here. But animals think that those are big eyes from a big animal. It scares them away, so they won't eat him. Some spiders weave delicate tapestries that shine in the sunlight and sway in the breeze. They spin lacy lines, then go round and round. Their knowledge of shapes is truly profound. They sit in the center, admiring their art, and wait for those flies who aren't quite as smart. What's going to happen to the flies? They're going to and sit on this sticky spider web and get stuck. And then the spider will eat them up. Yummy, yummy meal. Do you eat flies? I hope not. If you should meet a peacock pair, the male's the one with all the flair. The female, who is rather plain, is dazzled by his pattern train. She watches as he struts and preens, his fan ablaze of blues and greens. He's a beautiful bird. Look up in the sky and seasonally, you'll notice it's filled with graceful V's. A knowledge of angles helps migrating birds to fly with less effort and also be heard. By forming a wedge, the swans and the geese slice through the air and travel in peace. See, they have one up front and then 2 behind it, and then behind them and them and them, they make a V, a sideways V. See, there it is, right side up. It helps them fly better and helps them hear each other better. There's ants. When a foraging ant leaves a scent on the ground, then the worker ants know where the food can be found. In a very straight line, they march home with the snack, knowing piece by small piece, they can carry it back. In careful formation, they travel along. Their deep sense of teamwork is inborn and strong. So the first ant that finds some yummy food to eat, he leaves a trail on the ground, and the other ants smell it and follow it all the way food that he found, and then they all carry back a little bit, back to their home, little by little. And they're working together. By moonlight, a mouse who is bounding around leaves delicate prints all over the ground in a pattern of 4 that repeats and repeats. 2 tiny front paws, 2 bigger back feet. Can you see? 2 tiny front paws, 2 bigger back feet. On the dirt or on snow, the pattern you see makes the mouse part of nature's geometry. As he scurries about nibbling acorns and seeds and occasional insects, whatever he needs. Till an owl takes flight to dine for the night, then the mouse and his footprints head out of sight. He goes and hides when the owl comes so the owl won't eat him. On diamondback snakes and on copperhead snakes, you'll recognize diamond and triangle shapes. The snake rubs its nose on a branch or a rock, then takes off its skin like a knee-high sock. Off comes the old skin, and waiting below, repeating designs appear in a row. Well, the snake sometimes brushes up against something and rubs off his old skin and leaves it behind like an old shirt on the floor. Sea stars have 5 arms, or 6 arms, or more, with sensors called eye spots that help them explore. They grow back an arm if they get into scrapes, for they take such great pride in their bright, starry shapes. Look, this one has 5 arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if one gets cut off, oh no, it will grow right back. Isn't that wonderful? Look at this fish. The animal known as the pufferfish does not want to be someone's gourmet dish. Whenever it senses there's something to fear, it puffs itself up till it's almost a sphere. Look, it gets all full and round so nothing can put it in its mouth. He says, "Now you can't eat me, I'm too big and pokey." Ooh. The beautiful spirals on top-shell snails are miniature castles with tiny details. The spirals go round, getting wider and wider, till you get to the snail, the shell's inside her. Inside these shells, there lives little snails. The shell is their home. All these animals. So there you have it. I think you'll agree that creatures on land, in the air and the sea, make patterns and shapes quite naturally. There are some cool animals. The end.